Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be diving in to my new dragon team that I'm going to be primarily using in stage 24. I thought in honor of what is probably going to be the craziest dungeon event we've ever seen in Raid, based around the speed artifact set dropping in the dragon dungeon, I would go over not only the dragon team that I'm going to be using and why I'm going to be farming stage 24, but also some other options and a different team that's more mid-game level as well that would be a viable choice for level 24, and how the different stages are going to compare so that you can make the best decision for the event coming up. So let's get into it. Alrighty, and then really quickly, if you're watching this video right when it came out, I've got a 30% hookup for you on G Fuel with a link down below. Good for the next couple of days through Sunday, May 23rd. There is a link down below. You get 30% off with promo code CHOSEN. Okay, so now with this crazy tournament coming up, I know I've done dedicated videos on this before, but I want to pull this up just to rehash and make sure that we're on the same page. So this is how level 20 compares to the subsequent levels after that. And in honor of the speed set dropping more often when I'm going to be slamming energy into the dragon, my goal is to get the highest quality speed sets that I can. So what I'm going to be doing is either stage 24 or 25. You can see the significant bump up down there on the bottom right, the 0.947 on 24 between 6-star epic and legendary compared to 0.709 on stage 20. So a pretty significant bump on the per refill 6-star epic and legendary rate. That's what I'm looking for on speed pieces, so I can get a lot of those double and triple speed rolls substat for speed gear. And then when you compare 24 to 25, yes, you get slightly better rates on 6-star legendaries per refill. So some super endgame players argue that's the better spot for them to grind, but I think for me and for most endgame players out there, the best kind of best of all worlds choice is going to be stage 24, because it is so slightly worse that I would rather get the much more silver down there on the bottom right, the 542 versus the 496. But like I said, I've done dedicated videos on that, so I don't want to spend too much time boring you by going over that for the third time. That's just a quick review and reminder as to why I'm choosing to do stage 24 during this crazy buffed up speed dragon event. And now I want to show you my free-to-play team that I've got going on here that I'm going to be using for the event. A free-to-play option here with double Bad L, Draco, Kymar, and then we're using an epic champion, which enables me to call it free-to-play. As long as it's not all legendary, I can call it free-to-play friendly. I'm joking. But anyway, I'll get to the more mid-game team that I used after this. But this is going to be the team that I'm using on my main account. Obviously, I'm lucky enough to have been playing for a long time and pulled enough shards to have 2 Bad Ls, Kymar, Seer, and Draco. So the way this works, you put a bunch of buffs up with the 2 Bad Ls. Seer blows it up. We're to the boss in 17 or 18 seconds. Depending on RNG, the run is going to be anywhere from about 55 seconds to a minute 05. Typically, you can get really bad RNG and have it take like a minute 15, minute 20. But typically, we're going to be right around that minute to minute 05 mark with this team, with the double buffers, the Seer blowing things up, the Draco putting the weaken and the defense down, and the Kymar there in a relentless set to go ahead and reset everything. After this, I'll show you how they're all geared really quickly, and then I'll also show you another team that I used that's a little bit more realistic with some mid-game type options. And if you could, like, just get to the stage that you can. This is going to be how I'm going to be doing it. My stage 24 team, what I'm going to be doing on my main account. But there are other options that you can do to progress and do very well by getting speed artifacts. And yeah, this was exactly par for the course, a minute and 1 second, typically right going to be where it is finishing up. And then if we go back and we look at the stage selection, so I don't know where you are. Some of you are beginners, some are mid-game, some are end-game. It just depends. You want to get progress to the highest stage that you can get that is going to change the quality of artifacts that are dropping. So as you can see here, 13 is a big important one to get to, because 13 is your first voyage into getting 6-star gear. So the difference between 12 and 13 is massive. It costs the same amount of energy, but one drops 6-star gear and one does not. So 13 is a big threshold to get to, and then after that, it doesn't really change until stage, let's see here, yeah, stage 20. Stage 20 is the biggest threshold after 13 because now you're not getting 4-star gear anymore. You're guaranteed to get a 5 and a 6 every time. So 13 and 20, those are big break points. After that, I think for 99% of you out there, the best option is going to be 24. For some of you that are super endgame, you've got 500 million silver, you're competing in plat, you're a super whale, then yeah, do stage 25 if you can do it fast. And in order to show you that team that I was using, I will use Farbstoff's RSL helper to go ahead and tap these different champions. I do have a dedicated video on this tool that I'll try to remember to link over there. Huge shout out to Farbstoff for all the work that goes into this tool. And if you want to check out that dedicated video on this, if you're not familiar with it, that'll be linked over there for you. But okay, so we've got the Battle here. This is the gear reflex set. This was actually originally a solo Dragon 20 build that I did. I've also got a dedicated video on that as well. My Battle that solos Dragon 20 was kind of something I put together to be able to grind gear AFK with an auto clicker while also leveling up for food. So if I've got like a champion training event going on, or if I'm going to be AFK, like sleeping or whatever, and the time doesn't matter, I might as well do like 2.5 minute runs instead of like my 45-second runs and grind up 4 food. I'll just put in like 4 level 30s, 4 level 40s, and then solo grind with my battle. So that's why it was the reflex build to get that cycled through as fast as possible with enough resist and accuracy and toughness to make that work and do those solo runs. And then the other Battle here, I actually didn't change the gear. I just kind of slotted in for my Dragon 24 team, and it works fine enough that I don't really need to change anything. But this Battle here is built as an immunity cleanser that I can slide in sometimes for Tag Team Arena. He's built with enough speed to go first early in the team. And then the immunity set, he's going to go ahead and on auto, he'll automatically wipe all debuffs. So I can build a team to kind of go second, play defensively. He resists things, and then if they place like provokes or stuns or whatever, Battle will have the immunity set and then cleanse everything off, and then we're off and running. So that's his purpose and why he is built like that, even though it's not super optimal for the Dragon 24 run. Then the Dracomorph here, he's actually built for my Unkillable for Clan Boss. That's why he's got the Relentless set, and he's pretty glass cannon, really prioritizing the attack of 4658, and then lots of damage, 100% crit rate, and then the crit damage to boot there of 252. So he is pretty squishy, but it ends up working out because I nuke the waves fast enough and then nuke down the boss fast enough that it ends up working out, even though I did not change him from the build that he is in for my Unkillable team. And then obviously the power couple for speed farming, we've got Seer and Prince Kaimar. This is the Seer that I've got. Reflex set, I just love having that for the different scenarios that I use her in, the longer fights, some of those harder stages in the Doom Tower, her cycling through, getting back to that nuke as fast as possible. I have really been enjoying the reflex build there on some of those longer strategies with Seer. And then Kaimar I've got in Relentless again, so we can cycle through to get that cooldown reset as fast as possible. So you either want like Relentless, Reflex, something to get through as fast as you can to that. There's lots of different ways you can build Kaimar and Seer. Seer is also amazing in something like a Savage set, getting as much crit damage as possible, hitting as hard as possible. But this is the route that I went with my Seer and Kaimar, and it's working out really well. I'm really enjoying the 1 minute Dragon 24 runs, and then it also performs very well for me in the Doom Tower and the Ice Golem. And then I promised you I would show you another take on a team that I could use if I wasn't using that crazy endgame team with the Double Battle, the Prince Kaimar, the Draco. So the gear on these champions is good. Nothing amazing. These aren't champions that I use like in the arena or I use super consistently on my main. So the gear was just decent. Nothing god tier. My Great Hall is very good. That's definitely a caveat that you want to know about because the Great Hall is definitely a pretty good boost to hitting those accuracy thresholds, and it helps you build champions a little bit more efficiently. So if I didn't have my maxed out Great Hall, this would probably be taking me like 5-something minutes, but I could still definitely make it work just playing a little bit more defensive. You can see here this team is kind of built to go slow with the bulk of the damage coming from Kale's poisons on the boss. Nothing super hard hitting, but we do get the defense break from Tyrell and Stag Knight, and then we get some heals from Apothecary and Doom Priest, and then Kale's there for some AoE damage during the waves and poisoning on the boss. A pretty good free-to-play option there because he is a starter champion. And then a team like this doesn't have any legendaries. A couple things you want to note about the Dragon is you cannot lower its speed, so bringing people that decrease speed is nowhere near as good, especially on the boss side of it. It'll still be good during the waves. And then also things like turn meter reduction do not work on the boss. So things like Cold Heart that are going to zap the whole turn meter, that's not going to work on the Dragon. Just a couple things you really want to take note of when you're going into this big event coming up next week for the Dragon Dungeon. So that is going to mostly cover what I wanted to go over in this video in honor of the new... I wanted to do a video anyway about the new Dragon team I was going to be putting together and why I was going to be doing stage 24 compared to the other stuff, because it's actually not true for every dungeon. It's not true. It's not totally true in the Golem, so that's a little bit of a different situation, but I will be doing Dragon 24 from here on out, and this is the team that I will be using. So good luck if you're watching this right away within a day or two of when it came out. Good luck in the speed event. I hope you get lots of double and triple speed pieces to really help you progress your account and get stronger. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.